scene?
Yes.
Or do you still have a two-man scene?
I
And
do.
if not, you should probably make one.
I do.
All right. Twitter. Need to really think about a way to share my screen.
Well, I have this now.
Yeah, what now?
The browser.
Oh, that's nice the way you have that framed. That's very nice. We tried sharing a screen over Skype. It doesn't work, right? Like you're not able to get that into OBS. Yeah. Too bad. Too bad. Excuse me. That's rude. People just joining. Let's go. What is that? Discord. Lucky.
You know,
We got a little setting up to do here, bud. You want to jump in Zencaster when you have a chance too? We'll get that rocking and rolling. Before I forget.
is there a Discord for Mac or not?
Yeah, there's a Discord for Mac.
Where is it?
I don't know. I know there is one though. Are you in the App Store?
Yeah. It's on Homebrew.
That's exactly what I said, Bucky. He had that browser framed perfectly. Discord is on Homebrew. Interesting. Yeah, just do a brew install Discord.
Yeah, that's what I did. That's what I ended up doing. What I do need.
Are you full-time? I'm not even going to ask the question yet. Let's go, Buttery. Let's go.
Let's go.
You tell him, dog.
Where's that Slack? There it is.
The PHP ugly Slack. I guess I can start putting this stuff in Discord. We don't even need our own Slack channel anymore.
Yeah.
That's a problem. Health checks are ready.
All right. Headphones.
Oh yes, would appreciate that. We need to try to figure out streaming over Discord. Get away from Skype.
Dog.
Puppy. What's going on, Kevin? We're just getting set up here. Just getting some of the things out of the way. He is unhappy, man.
I don't know what he wants. He's just barking at neighbors. Bear no.
Is he outside?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought he sounded like he was right next to you.
Well, it's outside right next to me. Authy for Discord.
Oh, I'm starting recording.
Perfect.
I haven't even looked at the Trello board. You got anything on Trello?
Not a whole lot.
Yeah, you don't have a whole bunch. Neither do I, though. That's fine. We can talk PHP stuff.
I've
I got a
plenty
ton
of
of questions.
Plenty of stuff.
Cool. I like it when we have real world stuff. Anyways, we're not like a news show, man. I don't mind doing like a topic or two, but I don't know. I think sometimes we lean on that a little too heavily.
All right. Am I dropping frames? Yes.
Looks like it. Are are you? I will ask this before you start. Are you OBSing on the Mac?
No.
All right. Because that was not a great experience for me.
No, I am not doing that. All right. We are good to go.
1, 2, 1, 2. Coming off the top, y'all know how we do. Listen, I'ma drop a freestyle you can cherish. I'ma send a shout out to the host named Eric. Yo, he's never on some average shit. You know, Eric, he stays loud and passionate. I'm about to break it down for y'all with the clever song. Yo, shout the host named Thomas, cause he's never wrong. Yo, shout to John. You know that he's smart and quiet, unlike my freestyles, which cause a riot. I'm about to do it like this, cause the people love me. Shouts out to PHP, the ugly. It's called ugly cause it's not professional, but I'm about to come through and bless it with style. So let's do it when I'm spitting, I perfume the room. Yo, the segment of the show is called Doom and Gloom. That came from Thomas. Yeah, can nobody go beyond this? I get the mic and then I'm about to keep it like a promise. Yeah, and y'all know we fill them up with anguish. We talking about the PHP, the programming language. About to break it down, no exaggeration. What do y'all do for a living? Web applications. Okay, I can dig it. My words spray tight. They getting together on the Thursday nights. Yeah, when it comes to rhyming, you can call me the new dude. I spew true lyrics while y'all broadcast on YouTube. So let's get it. You know my lyrics are major. All up in the comments, they got plenty of haters, but they doing what they doing. Keep it ugly. We ending every show with the saying it's lovely. Let's go. Hey, shout out to y'all. Peace.
Woo!
Ooh. You're listening to episode 235 of PHP Ugly, your weekly dose of PHP programming aggression and aggravation, and happiness and joy. I gotta be honest with you. If you're just tuning in, don't let the name deceive you. We're not haters of PHP. We are lovers, embracers, I might even say, of the PHP programming
Who would
language.
be a hater?
Looking to go deeper than ever before. I am your host, Eric Van Johnson. And with me on this lovely night is my partner in crime, Tom Rideout.
Hello, pleasure to be here.
Happy to have you. I have been intentionally not talking to you this week because I just wanted to save all the goodness of the new job and all that information for the show. Now, I'm a little disappointed that I didn't hear from you, but you know,
Oh,
whatever.
dude, I have been busy. Definitely a trip into the deep end.
All right, so if you're not caught up, Thomas, after a very long career, well, not career, very long stint at his last position, it's been like, 5 years, 6 years?
8 years.
8 years.
Years.
Has officially started with a new company. And so we're all excited to hear how it's going.
It's going wonderful. It is definitely, like I said, is definitely at the deep end real quick. I've been interviewing other candidates. I've been working on tickets. I've been going through code bases and acclimating to the workflow, which is just stunning. I really love it. And, you know, learning VSCode, as one does.
Wait a minute. So you were serious
Yeah.
about that? Why?
What an opportunity! Like, why not? I don't
do
have
you
to
mean?
ask him for a PHP Storm license. VS Code is out there. I've been wanting to try it because everyone's been talking about how great it is. It's been
Okay. For the record, I'm a fan. I've always said that if you're going to be a professional developer, it's fine that you pay for a development tool that specializes in your field, like PHP Storm. Perfectly okay with it. But if you're going to engage the community, you should have some understanding of a tool that is approachable to people who don't make a living coding, who don't have $100 or
Yeah.
whatever a PHP Storm like is to put down on it. So the fact that you're doing this, I am all for this. I'm completely supportive. I'm glad you're
Well,
doing it. Just wasn't sure why
So
you're
here's
doing
the
it.
thing. I'm never going back. I'm never going back. It is.
Wait, just that
oh
quickly?
yeah. Oh yeah. First off,
Okay.
I've
Maybe I'm missing something.
I've
then.
upgraded my I've
Let me hear
upgraded
it.
my work layout here. If you're in the Discord, you can see now a picture of my dual 34-inch screens, which provide me maximum coding real estate. It took hours to get that set up because I've got a monitor arm that supports both of them simultaneously. So right now, the setup is one monitor directly in front of me and the other one moved completely off to the side. So I can do all of my mixing and stuff.
I've done.
So it's a slick little setup. I'm very happy with it. But yeah, VS Code. Wow, it's matured fast. I'm incredibly impressed.
Actually, I haven't been in VS Code for a good while. I still haven't. I have it installed on this system. I try to keep my plugins up to date in case I need to jump back into it to help somebody or show somebody something. But I bounce back and forth between Storm and just straight up them. I've actually been. No, that's not true. I was about to say I've been all of them this week, but I do think I had PHP Storm running at some point.
Well, I pulled up a completely blank install of VS Code, grabbed the project for work, and VS Code said, "Hey, we see that you're using PHP and Composer and Laravel. So you're going to want these Blade template plugins, PHP plugins, IntelliSense. You're going to want this for managing your NPM stuff. And here's your database connection." And that worked. Like, it just did all that stuff. I dropped in Atlassian support. And this is where I get into the workflow of this work. It's amazing. Everything is through Atlassian. So it's like Bitbucket, which is their version of GitHub, and then Pipes, which is the GitHub Actions, Jira for ticket management and stuff. So I pull up the ticket that I want in VS Code and click on Make Branch from Ticket, so it makes the branch, and then I click on the little Git sync button and it syncs it all up. And then whenever I push out a commit, I get a message in VS Code that says Pipelines is running your tests for your code and whether or not it's been approved. And then from there, once I'm done writing my software, do my final commit and go back into the Atlassian tab and mark the ticket as ready for QA. And I haven't left my IDE 1 second to do that. And
Cool.
I'm so impressed. So I can go from complete scratch to fully deployed without leaving my IDE.
Yeah, you can pretty much do that in just about any IDE. But yeah.
And
I'm glad you're liking it.
Bucky's asking, I'm started writing tests. Yeah, I started writing tests. I'm doing fully tested API stuff, and it's very nice. It's a very slick system. So I'm totally in love with VS Code. I've got my little tab for managing my Docker images. It tells me which files have changed and need to be committed right there on the left, the little button. I can run debug modes, Remote Explorer, and there are some things that I haven't tweaked yet to act the way I expect them to act. But besides that, I couldn't think of a reason to pay for PHP Storm right now.
Cool. I'm glad you're enjoying it. That's
Uh,
awesome. If you are listening and you're wondering who Bucky is or who Buttery are and where he shared that image, we're talking through our Discord to our listeners. So, what is it? Discord.phpugly.com. If you're not part of the, I got to be honest with you. If you're not in Discord, I don't know about you, Tom. I like wake up in the morning now and pop onto Discord because we have like strategic people in our Discord all around the world. And so, like the moment I get up in the morning, there's conversations that have been going on from people over in Europe or even over in Asia, and then it kind of you can kind of tell what time it is in the day by who's active on Discord, and we I don't know, I'm really enjoying my interactions in our little Discord. So that's discord.phpugly.com. If you're not a part of it,
I feel very
that's who we are.
I feel very bad ignoring our Discord sometimes. There's so much
You
activity.
honestly should.
I do.
There's not that much activity. That's the thing about it. That's why I like it. Like, there's just the perfect amount of conversations going on. And if there's too much conversation that you're not involved with, then nobody's missing you. You know what I mean? It's like perfect. I enjoy it. We've been having talks, and I've been trying to get more active in the little Patreon channel that we have, the Herd. I like to bounce ideas off people in that channel just to see what they think about it. And I don't know, I'm getting a lot of hype to like want to do some streaming. I've been saying I've been wanting to do streaming for a long time. I hadn't set up my OBS on this machine, but I spent some time this week setting OBS up, and I think it's ready. I think I'm ready to kind of start doing some streaming. I don't know what I'm going to stream yet, but I'm kind of I got some requests out there. Like some people want to see my Vim workflow, and I'm really interested. The one thing I want to do, I think I talked about it on the show last week, or maybe I just talked about it. See, this is it. I don't remember what I just talked in Discord about or what I talked about on the show, but I had the idea of if I did do streaming, using PHP Storm and using the code with me and just letting anybody join my coding session while I'm streaming. So you can kind of be connected to, because you don't have to own PHP Storm to do code with me. It has a little Java applet that it installs. So it has like this lightweight version of a PHP Storm and installs on your system. So I've been thinking about doing that. I don't know, man. I got ideas. I just don't have time or confidence that I know what I'm doing well enough to do it, but I want to do it. And then if you missed the conversation earlier today, but A-Woods in Discord and myself, we're kind of making a deal with each other that we want to get involved with PHP internals, PHP core coding. So we're gonna try to kind of coach each other along and see if we can't get in there and start doing some work. We're taking baby steps. We're taking the first steps to kind of do it, and I think I'm going to try to reach out and secure us a mentor or somebody willing to kind of walk through like the workflow, the best way to do builds and do testing. I don't know, man. I can't stop doing this shit. I just there's not an aspect of this of coding in PHP that I don't like doing. And I just kind of want to do it all. And that's part of my problem. I do need to kind of set some boundaries.
What about like managing servers? Do you enjoy that?
No, I stopped doing that years ago. Oh man, that was my life.
It's always a pain. It's the worst. But
yeah, well, I mean, the thing is it's exciting to a point. Yeah, I see your face. I see your face. I see it. It's exciting to a point, but it gets there's only so many new things you can do when you manage servers, and after a while, it just becomes a repetition. And it would just be so much nicer if you didn't have to worry about the server management piece.
Well, there is our sponsor, Cloudways.
We bring today's podcast to you in cooperation with Cloudways, a managed cloud hosting platform built for your PHP projects. If you simply wish to focus on your business, Cloudways is the way to go. They take over server management and security and free up time that you can dedicate to growing your business and acquiring new clients. Their platform offers you a choice of infrastructure as a service partners, such as AWS, Google Cloud, DigitalOcean, Linode, and Vultr. In addition, you get a performance-optimized stack, managed backups, and staging environment where you can test your code before pushing it to live servers. Best of all, Composer and Git come pre-installed so you can get your projects up and running quickly. All this power, simplicity, and peace of mind falls right in line with their brand slogan, moving dreams forward. Be sure to visit cloudways.com today, sign up using the promo code PHPUgly, and get a $25 credit.
Well, thank you, Cloudways.
Thanks, Cloudways. That way you don't have to worry about managing servers. Man, you were on the ball with that. You were at the 15-minute mark,
Hey.
like on the button with that one.
You know, I'm the live video editor for a reason here.
Jesus, you get a big boy job, and all of a sudden you're like you're
It
just
does feel that way though. Like, there's just something about that transition from a job that you've been at for 8 years, where it's like, oh well, no, this is professional, and this is now I'm thinking about wearing a tie to my Zoom meetings, and that that kind of stuff.
still wearing a t-shirt, but you're gonna have a tie.
Well, and I do so many meetings. We're doing stand-ups every morning on Zoom, and I've been doing a lot of Zoom calls throughout the week. But it's been really wonderful, and it's nice to work on pure back-end stuff.
Interesting.
So very, very happy with it.
So all right, so continue down your VS Code transition here. You've got your Jira plugins, you've got all your plugins. You haven't started tweaking out themes and stuff, but it's only been a few days, and you're like, "That's it. I'm done with PHP
Yeah.
Storm."
It's just so much prettier. I mean, you remember when you went from like Eclipse to PHP Storm, and you were like, "Wow, this is pretty." VS Code is that same step up, where just the UX UI is so much prettier. There's
I never make no mistake. I never thought PHP Storm was pretty. But yes, I get what you're saying. VS Code does have a little kind of swagger to it. It's a little hipper.
it's got these nice little animations. It's got these smooth pop-ups that say like, "Hey, I noticed you're doing something. You want help with that?" It's not quite clippy. It's not that friendly, but it is. It's very nice.
It looks like you're trying to code a CMS. Would you like me to help you?
You want me to install WordPress for you? So yeah, it was.
You didn't have that PHP Storm? I get that.
I
PHP
really
Storm.
didn't see it.
It's actually one of the annoying features. Yeah, it's actually one of the annoying little features. I'm like, no, I don't want you to do my Composer installs for me. I know how to type the fucking command.
I
Leave
think
me
that's
alone.
if you have the Composer plugin installed.
Oh,
But
maybe that's my
one
problem.
thing is the way that extensions work. They have there's a left nav that has extensions that have little icons for them. So
your first pro tip is you need to move that to the right hand side. I never understood the left nav thing. Well, okay,
I don't
let me
mind
take
it.
that back. Do you collapse your nav? Do you collapse
No.
your nav?
My screen.
See,
my
I
screen is 34 inches
coming-
long.
Coming from the Vim world, right? I've always collapsed the nav. Oh, I mean, Vim out of the box doesn't even have navigation. You have to install like Nerdtree or something. So I've always collapsed it, and I've kept that behavior. Even in PHP Storm, I've always collapsed it. But it's always bugged me that it's on the left-hand side, because that's like where my eyes are focused, where the beginning of my lines are, and where
Let
I'm
me
coding.
show you this. Let me do a display capture real quick.
you're gonna kill me because you're talking about stuff like
This is
like most people know.
This is my current state.
I get this. It's not a real estate issue. It's not a real estate issue. It's the fact that when you're collapsing and expanding the navigation on the left-hand side, it's shifting the code you're looking
So
at.
I don't collapse it. I leave
Whereas
it open.
if you... Okay, amateur. Sure.
It is a real estate issue because I have so much screen real
Why
estate.
do you keep it open? Like, why do you need to see your files?
I don't need to leave VS Code, so it's just my whole screen.
Collapsing it doesn't leave VS Code. It
No,
just
but I don't.
gives
But if I
you
uncollapse
a
it, then
nice-
it's gonna move. So I just leave it.
Not if you. That's what I'm saying. Not if you put it on the right hand side. It's fine.
Well, but I don't have to collapse it. Anyway.
Okay, you're gonna argue with me for the principle. of
No, I
arguing.
won't.
You don't even want to hear. Like you're telling me stuff that I've been telling you for years, but you never want to listen to me. And every time I do this, and then you know what's gonna happen in 6 months? You'll be like, "Oh, dude, you know what I just realized? If you move navigation to the right hand side, it's the coolest thing. It's like changed my life."
Yeah, it's guaranteed content for the podcast in a couple months. Plus, the listeners
Okay,
love
go
hearing me
ahead.
flip out.
We're spending too much time on navigation. Okay, so you like
well, so
look,
the
you like
extensions-
is it snappy?
It's very
Speedy?
snappy. I'm on the M1 chipset. I've got the 13-inch MacBook. It's very, very snappy. I've only had 1 or 2 problems with Mac OS stuff. Mainly that there's no official homebrew package for MySQL 8 on ARM. So you just go in the Docker file and force the platform to x86 and you're done because it emulates it. So no problem. But the extension thing is great because you can have extensions that don't add a nav on the left-hand side. They just add commands from the command runner, which is F1. That might be something in PHP Storm, but I've never seen it.
Nothing. This is not new.
I know.
It's funny. You know what? It's really cute that you're discovering like all your love for Mac now and all your love for VS Code. It's actually
know if
very
it's
enjoyable.
cute.
Just listening to your excitement talk about these things. It's like this has been around for so long, man. Good.
VS Code hasn't been around that long.
On your parade. VS Code's been around for a while, brother.
Well, I'm really enjoying it. I don't know. I don't have a lot more to say about it. It's very snappy. It's very responsive. You install the plugin and it just like pops up and does its thing. It's
Okay. So you mentioned database. I know that was one of the questions you posted in the Slack channel of what tool people were using for databases on Macs. Are you using a separate tool? Or are you staying in VS Code?
I am using a separate tool.
Okay. What'd you go with there?
Boy, what is it called? Like Hot Tables or something like that. I can't see it right now, but
Is it just tables? Maybe? Is it like a
No.
elephant logo?
no, it's a disc logo with a bunch of spades. It's called SQL Ace.
Oh, that's the what that used to be called. I forget what it was called before, but yeah, SQL Ace is the big kind of free one out there. Yeah.
Yeah, and it worked.
A lot of people use
I
that.
had a hell of a time getting several different MySQL applications to connect to my version of Docker MySQL. I tried running 5.5, I tried running 8, I tried running MariaDB, and they would all have some issue with connecting. So I don't know what that was about, but the SQL Ace works. The one that is built into VS Code doesn't want to connect.
So you're a straight MySQL guy. You never have to worry about going to Postgres or any of those other platforms. Yeah, that's nice. That's nice to have that. Yeah. So what is your workflow then? I've heard you throw out the word Docker a few times. Are you using Docker?
Yeah, using Docker Compose, PHP MySQL, and one other Docker object I can't remember. Oh, web server. Yeah, so
MySQL.
PHP, MySQL, and Nginx.
Oh, those are two things: PHP,
Yes.
MySQL, and Nginx in a Docker container. Gotcha.
And the Docker container is in the application, so when it gets updated, it goes with the application. VSCode notices that the Docker file has changed and recommends updating the Docker Compose and doing that whole thing. It's
The containers.
yeah, it just does its thing. It's got a nice little.
Are you? Well, I don't know if we've ever clarified. Is there a production version of whatever you're working on?
Yes. And
Are you guys deploying is it running on Docker containers, or is that just one of these?
Yeah.
No, it just gets deployed to hardware.
yeah, it's running on Docker containers. It's just a slightly tweaked version from the one that we're developing on.
Oh, interesting. I wonder why that
Yeah,
is.
I'm not sure, but the nice thing is I don't have to know or care why, because I'm just
That's always key.
I'm just doing the back end stuff. I'm not even doing the QA stuff. I have to get tests passing and written, but once I mark a ticket as ready for QA, I hopefully don't see it again. Now QA can bounce it back to me saying change request and put in what they want changed, like an additional test for a new functionality or whatever. But it's once I'm done, once the work is done, it's out the door, and I don't see where it goes. Code review is automated. When I push something out, when I issue a pull request, the people who are in charge of code review get notifications, and they comment the code, they comment the ticket, and those comments all show up in Visual Studio Code. The little window pops up and says, "Hey, someone commented on your ticket here. Take a look." I'm really never leaving Visual Studio. It's very impressive.
I mean, again, I think you can set a lot of that stuff up in PHP Storm if you ever bother
think you can,
to.
but yeah, you have to bother to.
I think you've kind of hit on a point with why. I mean, VS Code, because the thing VS Code is bringing, and again, this might not be something you need to worry about, but the thing VS Code is bringing to the table is the same thing Vim brings to the table, right? If you need to switch over to Python, or you need to switch over to Lua, or you need to switch over to Haskell, you use the same editor, right?
Even from within the same project, yeah.
Right. So yeah, that's cool. I'm glad you're enjoying it. I'm glad you're embracing it. Be interesting to see where you take it. Have you considered enabling Vim bindings and learning to navigate through the keyboard?
Yes.
Okay. You ever need help with that? You let me know, because I know,
Only.
like I said, it's been a long time since I've used VS Code, but much like PHP Storm and like native Vim, I know it has a way to customize bindings as well, but I wouldn't even worry about that.
I think if
you
there were
just
someone
start to
who would
understand-
live stream some kind of tutorial on Vim bindings, that would be a helpful thing to watch. I don't think anyone
maybe
does
that.
that.
Maybe that needs to be my first stream, huh? Fire up VS Code
Vim
and
bindings.
figure out my Vim
Yeah.
bindings.
Uh,
But again, I don't think you need to worry about that, right? It's like if you just enable Vim plugins and learn like the basic navigation of how to move around, how to change stuff, I really, honest to God, think this would be like this conversation we're having, where you say, "I have no interest in doing that. That's not beneficial to me," and then 6 months down the road, you're going to be like, "I can never not do this. Why did I ever not do it this way before?"
Yeah, see, that is
You really
a
strike me
negative.
as
It
that
does
person.
it does give you the "I
honestly
told you
goodness.
so" coin that you could just play at any time.
Is that
Yeah.
why? Is that why? I'm changing my way. I swear to God, I'm changing my way. I'm not beating the drum for anything except using Vim bindings. I don't care what editor you use anymore. I would be more than happy to help you customize your Vim bindings in whatever editor you use. But I think the more important thing is that you use Vim bindings, because it is really, since moving to the Kinesis Advantage 2 keyboard, I never typed properly. I was never taught to type properly. I was hunt and peck, sort of typer. I have pretty big hands. I'm a pretty big guy. This is a pretty big keyboard, and because of the way it's a concave keyboard, I've talked about it in the past, but I'll show it to the people on the stream. It has this concave keyboard, so if you do anything but properly type, you're doing yourself a disservice. So I've actually been trying to teach myself the proper way to type, like making sure the right fingers are hitting the right key, making sure I'm hitting the left shift button when I'm trying to capitalize a letter on the right hand side, and vice versa. And I'm just trying to do more of that. And with the OS I'm using, which is the Pop OS, everything about it has Vim bindings. I can move my windows around based on Vim bindings. I can flip things around based on Vim bindings. So I am grabbing for my mouse less and less, and I'm really starting to appreciate it more. So as I'm starting to train myself to type correctly, I love the fact that I'm using Vim even more so, because I'm trying to reduce the travel time of my fingers. So not only am I using the right finger on the right key, but I'm trying to make sure that I'm reducing that travel time, and I'm not hovering or picking my hands up. And it just makes all the difference in the world to me. And I really think that's the real benefit. So yes, I like using Vim. That's old school me. I like using Vim because I have a lot of customization in Vim. That's fine. I don't hate on anybody who's willing to use Vim on any other editor, because I still think there's a major benefit for you there. That's my new stance. I'm not going to be that guy that says just use Vim, because I do want to be that guy of learn an open source
Isn't
editor.
that kind of just
don't
use Vim though?
Depend on. No, VSCode is open source. It's an open source editor. It's completely open source, completely free. Anybody can use VSCode. That's the thing. I would even say the same thing to Atom. I assume is still a thing. I mean, they're still both GitHub now technically, or both Microsoft, right? But whatever it is, just get familiar. Don't let the editor be your blocker. Don't say, well, I'll learn to code after I learn Vim, or get yourself into an editor, and a lot of these editors will do Vim, and that's my stance. I don't care what editor you're using, you'll grow into Vim. If I ever waver from that, you let me know.
Give me 1 second. I have to check on something.
You got it, man. I got French fries here, and I've been trying to. What do you think? What do you think, Discord? Yes, Michael Dorinda. Control P. Mike, I'm not even using Control P anymore, and I'm thinking about going back to it. I switched over to Telescope, and I like it a lot, because Telescope it's not very different than Control P, but Telescope gives you a preview of the file. So as you're going through files, it kind of gives you a preview, and I always thought that was kind of nice. But yeah, Command P. And again, I think I still Command P and my Telescope shortcut key bound in PHP Storm.
All right, turn this into an eating stream.
I'm telling you, man. French fries, it's hard not to eat them.
So what have you been up to this week? I mean, we just focused on me for the last half hour. I figure could ask you.
I can actually check off one of the things I want to talk about, my typing. I had an interesting thing happen. You might have saw it because you're in the Diego Dev Slack channel. So some of these things are spoilers. So you might have saw this, but maybe you didn't see this one. One of the MVPs that we built for a client, and it was this classic case of, hey, I have this really simple idea to we're about halfway through the project, and the thing had every feature bolted onto it as possible. And it was very much, it was a COVID, it started off as a COVID focused application, and it quickly expanded. I mean, the scope just went through the roof. And I was having meetings with the project owner saying, no, let's do this first iteration. Let's get it out the door, and we can add to this. We can always add to it. But the initial goal was to address some COVID concerns. I'm like, you got to get that out the door. Like, we don't have the time to do all this other stuff that's not COVID related, right, and get it out in time, because COVID's, ideally not going to be here long. And this is when I was personally thinking, hey, this is just going to be a few months. We don't have a year, which we ended up having a year. But we finally got to an MVP state. And again, the project owner wasn't really, grooving with a lot of our suggestions, our directions that we're recommending. And we did basically what they were looking for, and they liked it. But they kind of got to the point where, I don't think I can market this. I don't think I can use this. This week, one of those developers happened across that almost same project that we built from another company who was offering it. It's like, wait, we already built that for our people. We have a working MVP, but yeah, it is what it is. That was weird, man, because like a lot of the concepts that the project owner brought to the table were cool ideas.
Right.
I'm like, all right, they were like, hey, nobody's doing this. This is how I want to do it. I'm like, all right, that's cool. We can do that, and we did it. I mean, we literally did it for them, and we built it, and they just, decided not to move forward with it, which was unfortunate. But those concepts were in this other product, and it's like, wait a minute, hold on, did anybody think to patent that idea?
Oh, that process
weird.
is a pain in the ass, though. You know that.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to go through that. But I'm really excited. The thing I'm most excited about is we are so close to going live with a production data store. Which
really?
Again, if you've been listening to this podcast for any amount of time, my
first off, we apologize.
Enjoyment with working with CouchDB, and we're kind of in that final stage where we have our main operations person, our main guy who's deep into AWS, trying to automate this CouchDB environment. So we're not just standing up one server. I mean, it's a distributed system, and it's got all the synchronization that's happening, and we're really close. Like we're literally probably weeks, maybe a month, probably from launching this production product using this architecture, and it's working so well. Like I can't even explain to you how happy I've been with the developers working on this project. The developers, including the ops guy who's doing the architecture, the hardware, the servers and the couch, they've tackled a lot of problems. They've figured out a lot of solutions, and they have it working very well. And I'm so excited to finally be there and have this offering to this client, because this client, again, this is a situation where we've showed them in the past concepts of how we could use CouchDB, and they're heavily mobile driven. So they have kind of this pipeline of products that are like mobile products, and we're like, this is kind of the target, like these mobile devices that come online, go offline, that need these real-time updates really quick and synchronization. And we've been pitching this idea to them for years, and we've kind of showed them, some ideas and concepts, and they've liked what they've seen. and this is our first kind of real implementation. And I get nervous because I know I have a lot of my personal reputation writing on this.
Yeah.
And I mean, my reputation isn't that great to begin with. Just be real. I don't know if I can handle another hit.
Van Johnson.
Isn't
Isn't that the guy who didn't get the?
Screw that guy.
No, I remember the name.
Release manager
he was
position?
like, number 5 or number 6 choice is real low.
Like number 8 of 6.
Yeah, it was. I don't know if he's trustworthy.
So yeah, that was it. Me personally, working on the project, I got to use the new Laravel factory, the class-based factories. Have you done these yet?
Yes.
Yeah, I hadn't, and I totally forgotten about them. Like, I don't create factories a whole hell of a lot, but for this one project, this one customer, they like to have factories. They're factory heavy, and I think all their, they started upgrading to Laravel 8 on their projects, but the projects I'd worked on with them before had all been like 7 and before. So I had my first Laravel 8 fresh project I was working on, and I went to do factories. And of course, I'm in autopilot. I'm like, okay, boom, 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 boom. And I'm trying to build a factory. I'm like, the fuck here? Like, why isn't this work? Like, why isn't factories work? Is what's going on here? And of course, we had this discussion on the show. You can enable the old way of doing factories if you know that's what you want to do. But then I remember, I'm like, oh, wait, there's the whole new class-based factory system. So I spent a little while, bringing myself up to speed with that. And I mean, it's not a huge learning curve. It's just a matter of understanding, a few kind of different things you need to do. But I like it.
Are you?
How do you feel about it?
You ready for some Laravel bitching? Because I ran into a Laravel issue that wasn't too excited about. So okay, I submitted a ticket for password validation stuff, and the response on the ticket was, "Hey, you should use the built-in Laravel password strength checks, the validators. Don't write your own regular expressions." I said, "What?" Pulled up the docs, and sure enough, there's a new validator type for password strength that wasn't there the day before.
Right.
Wasn't there the day before.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Pulled up the composer version we had, looked at when it was implemented. It was implemented in 8.39. We were running 8.3.30. So this had been added, I believe, the same day that the ticket was issued to me. And I had to update.
And your QA team, your QA team found out about it before you did. How embarrassing that must be.
It was a little bit.
You being the developer.
A little bit. Yeah. The fact that this whole new feature was added to a minor revision of Laravel, and especially, I mean, it tests passwords. That shit has to be secure. It has to be tested. And it's like, I don't know when the merge was put in for it. I don't know what the PR says. I just don't like.
Well, you
this.
You still don't have to. I mean, I understand they sent a ticket to you suggesting you use it, but if you're not comfortable with using it, then don't use it. I did
end up using it. I ended up having to update the Laravel version and then notifying the operations person who deals with Laravel versions, hey, you've got to do this every week because the version we're running has issues, and we need to every week there's a problem that has to be addressed. Just know that. So put a ticket on your sheet. Always update the version because we're gonna have to do that from now on. And they were nonplussed. They said, well, I'll do it every month. And I said, wait, that's not gonna cut it. Because last month there were 2 SQL injection vulnerabilities in 1 month. So it's every week. I'm sorry. Like, it seems ridiculous that I'd have to update the framework every week. And I said, yes, it does seem a little ridiculous. Yeah. Yeah, it does. But hey, you know what you don't have to worry about? Application monitoring.
What don't I have to worry about? Why wouldn't I have to worry about application
Because
monitoring?
Honey Badger is there for you. It's the web developer's secret weapon. I love Honey Badger. It's so cool. You've got so many features. It works with Ruby, JavaScript, whatever that droplet thing is. The other JavaScript, PHP,
That's elixir.
Python.
That's elixir.
It works with all of these things.
It does.
It does.
How difficult is it to implement?
It's the easiest, I assume.
Could it be as easy as just a composer install package?
It could. It is. Yes, it is. It's just that easy. They've got a free tier.
Well, but you didn't let me get it out. I was just saying something that easy and beneficial has got to be expensive.
No, there's actually a free tier, and even the paid tiers are significantly competitive with other products on the market. If there are any, I don't know of any that are. You've got breakdowns by the user who encountered an issue, backtraces, messages. It's got a status tracking system for marking tickets as resolved. It's...
Hey, you want to know something
What?
cool? I think you could Google this. I'm just guessing. I'm Googling it right now. I bet you anything there is a Honey Badger plugin for VSCode.
Oh, I bet there is. Let's look right now.
I'm not
There is
seeing
not
one though,
one.
but I feel like there should be. But
see,
yeah,
I don't think
no,
there
there
needs.
isn't. Okay,
I
that
don't
was
think
bad-
there
that
needs
was
to
bad
be.
idea.
Honey Badger is such a self-contained and fluid system. I don't know if I'd want to leave this website for tracking my issues.
It is a very nice website. We've been using Honey Badger more and more at Diego Dev,
Yeah.
and I'm looking to implement it more and more. Yeah, I do like their interface. Very easy to kind of drill into a problem, find out where it is.
Well, and it goes to
who experienced it.
it goes to what I was saying about VS Code, where it's like, yeah, these things are doable in other systems, but when the UX and the UI are so nice, it just makes it easier. You know? So it's Honey Badger's very cool, and if you couldn't tell, a sponsor of this podcast, and we're very thankful.
Thanks, Honey
Thank you,
Badger.
Honey
Thanks
Badger.
for sponsoring us. We do appreciate it. Okay, I finally broke down this week as well. I've been holding
Finally
out
broke
for so
down,
long,
crying.
but
Head in your hands.
I switched my GitHub to dark mode. I don't know why.
Really?
But I did it. Yeah, and it was funny because GitHub to me, I'm like, I'm never going to use dark mode on GitHub. I'm never going to use dark mode on GitHub. And I don't know. I switched it over and now I'm kind of sticking with it. I don't want to switch back. I can't give you a good excuse. Maybe you can help me with something though, or maybe our listeners in Discord can help me. Probably more so our listeners. I don't know if you can help me with this one, but maybe I'm gonna put it out there. I thought there was a way in Discord. So I am associated as a contributor to a couple of repos, or not repos, but organizations. And there's one organization in particular. I'm like, what did I contribute to their code? And they have a lot of code, a lot of repos in that organization. And I noticed like a lot of Laravel people contribute to that organization. I cannot find what I contributed to that organization. I thought there was a way you could look in your GitHub profile and see what commits you sent to other repos. Are you aware of a way to track something like that down, or anybody in our Discord aware of a way to track something like that down?
I don't know of any way of doing that. I'm not the strongest on GitHub stuff. I mean,
yeah. I could have sworn I had done this once before, and I don't remember how I had done it. But yeah, it's just kind of random. I don't know. I if somebody knows how to do that, if somebody knows how you can see commits you made to other organizations or commits you made to other repos, I would love to find that out because I can, for the life of me, can't figure out which one of these. There's like 36 repos here, and I can't figure out which one of these I contributed to. There's 28 repos here, and I can't figure it out. But I contributed to one of them, and I don't have a problem with it. I'm happy I did. I just would like to remember what I did for them.
There's a CLI for GitHub, isn't there?
Yeah.
I wonder if there's like a GitHub log.
That's a good question. I think there might be. I would have to double check that though.
Yeah, but see, I'm looking at GitHub here and I don't see it. I don't see anything. I mean, GitHub is already a very minimalist interface for what it does. But
it doesn't need to do much. But yeah.
Yeah, I just
no big deal.
There's organizations, and I would check with the CLI and see if the CLI can give you a full log of all commits.
I can't remember what the GitHub CLI does. It does. I mean, it is cool because you can actually manage your PRs and the issues and everything through it. I've kind of played with that before, but I'm not seeing any like log or anything like that. Yeah, I don't think the CI is going to be much use to me. Not a big deal. I mean, it's not something I have to have. I was just wondering if it was something somebody might know off the top of their head. Mr. Ramsey, I DM'd you. Mr. Ramsey is in our Discord, and I DM'd you. I'm looking for help. I know how you can see all your commits on a specific repo. See, that's part of the problem. I don't know what repo. That's part of my issue. I guess I could go through all the repos and implement whatever solution you have.
Well, you've got a bash log, don't you? You just pull up your bash history. Just
no. I use ZSH, by the way, but no, it couldn't have been anything. I was probably on my Mac when I did it. I don't know. Not a huge deal. Let me ask you a PHP question.
Fire away.
Have you started using the keyword final yet on any of your stuff?
No. I don't see a need to.
So I have started doing this on a project I'm working with. They make heavy use of the spotty enum package. And I got to thinking, I'm like, hey, I really don't want anybody overwriting any of these enums when they're defined. Like, if you're going to change the enums, I want you to come into this class and change it. I don't want you to overwrite it on the fly. So I decided to implement final on there.
I can understand that.
And I'm not sure. Is that the right implementation for that?
Honestly, I don't know. I was under the impression that final was just you can't extend the class.
Right. Well, yeah. I guess that's what I'm thinking. Right. It's like, so then that enum class, they can't extend it. They can't use it for anything else. Right. Yeah. So I did finally do that. I finally used final, and it hasn't broken anything yet. I'm just not sure if I did it correctly or not.
Well, isn't there a new RFC for something exactly like what you're talking about, though?
Oh man, I don't know. I haven't been keeping up with the RFCs since.
Let me pull up.
Since when, when, Ben,
There's
Mr. Ramsey. I don't know if you heard earlier, but we're looking for me and who did I say earlier? I forget. A Woods. Me and A Woods are looking for some mentoring. We want to learn C. We want to start coding internals. For better or for worse, we want to do this. So if you know of any direction you can give me, let me know.
So
what are you doing?
There's this. The sealed classes.
What is this?
Sealed classes RFC.
Oh yeah, I did see this one. Yeah. I did see this one. So
I don't know. I don't really understand it. I haven't dug through it that closely, but this might be the thing you're looking for. There's also this RFC for that's not the right one. Final constants.
Oh, is that the one from? Oh no, this isn't the one from. Yeah, I haven't seen this one. I haven't seen that one. Nikita did one. The property assessors. Yeah, no, that's nothing.
Yeah. So
yeah, no, I haven't seen final constants.
it looks.
Sealed cases.
It looks like interface constants are already final. So if you're implementing an interface, you can't override a constant defined in that interface, and this would just extend that to the ability to have a final constant in a class. So if the class gets extended, then the constant can't be changed. So that could do what you're talking about as well.
Yes. Man, I tell you, I love this external site. Externals is the way to go to read through this stuff. I've stopped. I might even unsubscribe from the mailing list so it doesn't hit my box anymore.
Yeah.
I just come here. I log in. You log in with your GitHub account. It tracks what you've read, what you haven't read. It's because I don't contribute. Like I don't ever reply to anything. I'm just consuming it anyways.
Not since the incident.
Not since the incident. Not since the thing.
The betrayal. So yeah, that could, those two situations could handle what you're talking about. But you know what time it is.
Absolutely, I do. It's no, I have no idea.
Oh, it's Patreon time.
Are we that deep into the show already? You're just... What the hell are you looking at? Why? How are you keeping track of all this? We have a new Patreon, by the way.
Who's that?
Well, you're going to have to wait for the list now because I don't remember.
It's not.
The list is there. It's going to be after Ben. If it's... I'm trying to remember the name.
Just before Buttery.
But we do have Ben and Alex
B. Thank you very much, Alex.
Yes, Alex. We do appreciate the support. So, yes. Thank you for our Patreons, including our sponsors, our sponsor Patreon levels, Cloudways and Honey Badger. It has helped a lot. I mean, we've carried doing this for a long time. It was fun at first. It still is. It came out very wrong.
It's been a long road, but we'll...
But I mean, there are expenses that go into it. Things like equipment and things like hosting and stuff like that.
Oh, just your psychological treatment for the podcast has been incredibly expensive.
The legal fees for all the people who try to. Oh my God! Don't even get me started on that. So thanks for all the sponsors we have. I mean, because of the crazy influx of Patreons that we've had rolling in, we're going to kind of up our reward stuff here and try to get some stuff out. We typically do like rewards like twice a year. I think we're going to probably do once a quarter here coming up. So if you're a Patreon, look for some stuff. We're working on getting some new reward stuff, some new swag, even stuff that you don't even have to be a Patreon if you're interested in. We're trying to come up with something a little creative for PHP developers. So yeah, thanks. Appreciate that.
Yeah, and I saw a bit of that new logo you posted up, the new little mascot fella.
What do you think?
I don't surf, right? Don't like surf. Don't
really
I
don't
enjoy
know,
surfing.
I don't know. I don't know what direction I want to go with that. That surfing wasn't my idea. It was the artist's idea. So I think I want to probably lean away from that. But I mean, come on, that's an ugly logo, right? I mean,
oh no, I really like a lot of the elements of it. I really do.
Yeah.
Just not the board shorts and the surfboard and the mohawk. The Mohawk, I could
Yeah,
give or take.
so we're
I
working
don't really
on some-
mind, but
The Mohawk, I think I'll be okay with. Yeah, I like the skulls. The skulls are cool. But yeah, we're working. We're iterating. We're iterating through it. Did I lose you?
no, I'm just typing. I'm just responding to the wonderful people in our Discord chat.
I'm telling you, Discord is the shit, man. It's where I hang out during the day now. I have to admit. I will say you brought it to our attention, and I at the time knew nothing about it. But that whole base camp thing,
Oh boy,
my
yeah.
god!
So
Holy
the day after
smoke.
we recorded, 1/3 of the staff left.
Yeah.
Uh,
And what was funny is, I thought it was funny was our question when we saw all this stuff happening was, well, what's DHH doing? Like nobody's heard about anything from DHH on this topic.
Right.
So I go to his Twitter, and he had posted this long thread. I'm reading through the thread. I'm like, okay, all right, he's trying to make a point here. And I realized, oh no, he's still bitching about Apple.
Yeah,
Like
he's
got
got complaints about Apple's platform.
bug up his butt about Apple. Oh my god, I think it all comes from his Hey email system. He is just
That's
he
right.
just can't handle this Apple. Yeah.
Oh,
I'm pretty sure that's what sparked it with him. He's flat out not happy with this Apple model
Yeah.
anymore, and just goes on and on about. I'm like, dude, like your company is like
on fire.
use some attention
It's-
right now. Like maybe pay a little
Yeah.
attention to
You
your
just-
people for a little
You just
bit
had
there.
you just had 1/3 of your employees accept buyout offers. You got to focus on the issues here. Yeah, and The Verge did an article about the meeting, the telephone meeting that led up to this, where a senior person had proclaimed that there's no such thing as white supremacy in America, and it's one of those made-up cancel culture things, and so he got suspended and quit.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
I'm not gonna get into it a whole
Well,
lot. but
it's funny that the
that-
executives are saying like, "Hey, you guys can't talk about politics," but the reason is because one of our most senior level guys didn't know to shut up, and so we had to fire him. So we can't afford to fire any more executive level employees.
Yeah, that was a tough one. That was a tough one for sure.
No.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, as a business owner myself, part of me sympathizes for what they're going through. I mean, keep in mind they kind of made their own bed. You know, they were this
Sure.
very
As
progressive.
a gun owner, I feel
one.
bad for the guy who shot himself in the foot, but also practice
Right.
practice
I mean,
proper
really,
gun
that's
safety.
It was. I mean, and I mean, think about like kind of what Facebook did too, right? It's
Yeah.
like, we're going to create this oversight committee that engages to make sure that we're being culturally aware and where. And then that oversight committee comes back and says, "Oh no, you're doing this, and this wrong." It's like, "Oh, fuck this! This is a terrible idea. Who decided to do this? Everybody's fired."
Yeah, and
Yeah. What
ugh.
about Facebook? I mean, kind of the same thing, right? They said, "Hey, we're going to have this independent oversight committee to say whether or not what we did as far as kicking Trump off of our platform was good and justified." And then they turn around and
I mean, such a double standard though, because like now they just can't ban anyone permanently from Facebook. It always has to have a time.
No. I mean, that's the thing. It's if they say, so what they said is you were justified in doing it to keep him off the platform. You have to show. This is my understanding of it. That you're not signaling them out that this is how you're treating other people. It's like, actually, that's what people on Twitter have been saying forever. Hey, just treat him like you treat everybody
Right.
else. You know, it's crazy. It's so I think personally, I think it's going to be Facebook saying, okay, we have to make sure that we have these ducks in a row, because we already know we gave Trump way more leeway than we did
Well,
like your average user.
we're sorry about the attack on the Capitol. Okay. Jeez, you guys, that was
So
months
I don't know.
ago.
I mean, I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. I do think it was good that the panel said, okay, you've justified taking him off the platform, but you haven't really justified keeping him off. You know, you need to do that next.
Well,
so I think they'll be able to do that.
But it's also interesting that this panel that was created for oversight of the company basically said, hey, we might not have any clause, so here's a really ambiguous decision that will make most people happy. Because they just basically asked Facebook to give a timeline for when he's allowed back on.
Well, no, they said in 6 months you have to have a case to keep him off why you're keeping him off the platform, which actually does bring up another point,
That
right?
It's progressing.
Like,
that case is progressing faster than the Washington prosecutions.
Well, but does it? I mean, can a company now be forced to say, okay, you have to let Trump, or anybody? Let's stop naming names. You've got to let this person back on your platform because you're not giving us enough justification for him to stay off. And them saying, well, no, this is our platform. We can. I mean, kind of like we can refuse service to whoever we want to refuse service to.
And that's the amazing thing, is that this argument for forcing the company to let anyone back on the platform is coming from the small government side of our political spectrum, who have been saying forever, hey, it's okay to not make a cake for a gay couple, but let this guy back on because that's not fair.
We'll spin out of control on that one because
because that's in my city.
You got Discord up here. What's with Discord?
A couple weeks ago we talked about Microsoft, the rumor that Microsoft was going to buy Discord, and it would appear that Sony did not like that much, so Sony announced that they have bought into Discord and have a partnership where they will be bringing Discord to the PlayStation 5. So you're going to have an official integration, which is super cool.
That was going to be my first question to you. Is any potential deal between Microsoft and Discord dead now?
Yes. It appears that the whole thing fell through.
Gotcha.
All
right.
So, as their article here explains, Sony Interactive Entertainment has made a minority investment as part of Discord's Series H round. So they are part owners now of Discord.
Well, that is interesting.
It is an interesting turn. And especially since it turned around so quickly from like, hey, Microsoft's going to buy Discord to, we're not selling to you, you're the competition. So I thought that was interesting. But you know what the big news is this week?
Is big news? What's big news?
The big news. The royal family, Bill and Melinda Gates, are getting a divorce.
Do we need to talk about that? That's I didn't think that was very important.
It's on your board.
I haven't moved it over. I didn't want to talk about it.
I don't know.
We'll talk about it.
I was bummed out for like a half hour.
We had the conversation. It's like when you're that rich, at some point you just get bored with things to do.
Right.
And, you just want...
I thought it was interesting that they had irreconcilable differences.
I want to give you more credit. You want some more credit? I'm trying to praise you here, Thomas.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just making sure. You brought up that whole flock thing and talked about how I think last week you had shared a gist from Fabian
Yes.
for Flock, and then I think shortly after that, a pull request was open to Symphony Core to kind of address this thing. Not too long after that, Taylor created a pull request into Laravel
for this
Flock.
week's release of Laravel.
But he's now talking about reverting it out, pulling it out, because he got so much, and I was watching this, so much negative feedback on the proposed PR, which brings up a whole nother series of questions that we talk about a lot. How Taylor on a whim can decide what to change and what not to change.
Who's against this?
But a lot of people, this is the thing that surprised me. Like, I didn't see this pushback anywhere else but the Laravel community. But that might be because I don't look at other communities as closely as I look at the Laravel community. But there was a lot of, hey, this isn't even something that's implemented. They haven't even rolled it out. Browsers aren't even supporting it. Why are we worried about this? Da 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 da. And so one of those cards in, I think the second card in Trello there, Thomas,
Sure.
is Taylor basically saying, hey, you know, I don't think I'm going to roll this out after all, because is that it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I thought that was interesting. So yeah, I was kind of the same way you were thinking. It's like, okay, why would anybody like have an issue with this? And I still don't. I mean, I understand their point. It's like, hey, you're addressing a problem that doesn't exist yet, but I don't know. I mean, is it an issue that it's there?
Well, there is a complaint that it should be a middleware for the web group and not a default header for APIs and stuff like that.
I saw that conversation come up as well.
That seems valid to me. Yeah, so there's already a PR for a disable Flock middleware.
Mm-hmm.
So use that one. Why not use it?
It's did he use it? Because I see it's closed. Did he use it? Did he pull it in?
No, he says I baked it in so we don't need a middleware and closed it. So maybe he should reopen it.
So I guess back to your point, you know, Taylor deciding on a whim what he does and doesn't want in Laravel, as opposed to a more
TFL.
community approach. But yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know if I have a problem with it. I mean, as long as you understand what you're getting into when you decide to use Laravel. But yeah, I've been bit by it in the past. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. Do I have a correction for last week?
Do you have a correction
I do
for
have a
last
correction
week?
for last week. We were talking about Laravel-based CMSs, and it would appear that October CMS, the one that I referenced last week, is now a paid platform.
What?
October
is now paid?
Did not know about this. Yes.
I used to use October.
They did an announcement, said, hey, October CMS moves to become a paid platform, et cetera, et cetera. So...
Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
There's not even is it not open source at all anymore? There's no GitHub at
new
all?
license. I don't know if it's open source.
Well, it used to be open source, but yeah, I'm not seeing any links to any GitHub repos or anything.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I was never a huge fan of October. I always felt it was kind of clunky.
Yeah. So what I was given instead was a recommendation for Statmatic. Statmatic is an open source free CMS.
That's not free either. That's not free. I don't think that's free either.
Solo. There's a solo version that's free. Oh boy.
Yeah. Yeah, that's.
Oh, that's a stolen.
I don't know if I could.
Are you kidding me? That's a stolen PNG. That's. I'm sorry. I just have to point.
Huh?
This logo.
You're saying this logo to our people listening on the podcast.
This is a reference to Legend of Zelda. They do not own that artwork.
Oh, you just picked that up out of that.
Oh, I know it when I see it.
There's some other interesting things about Stepmatic. I'll say for you off air. I hate when we talk about that, but yeah, that is another paid solution. And like I said, even the solo, I don't think you can even. Can you go? I can't read the license that you have up there. Can you actually deploy with solo? I thought that was only for development.
Organize and publish content with all 40+ field types, unlimited collections and taxonomies, every front end feature. One super admin user account. Ramsey here is giving us Grav.
Great, Grav. Yeah, I was gonna say that's a good one. He just posted it. If you were in our Discord, you would have seen it before we spoke about it. This is a good one.
Okay.
This I've played with it. It's a little funky because it's a flat file CMS, but Ben, maybe you have more experience with it. I thought you could actually add on like databases and stuff, but this is pretty cool. This is kind of one of those. If I remember correctly, I think it's one of those like it generates like these static HTMLs for you to use, and you can write it like in Markdown. I get confused because there's a lot of them like this. I'd have to refamiliarize myself with this one. But yeah, this was one of the ones I dove into when I was looking to do the Diego Dev blog. I did a lot of work with this one for a while, and I forget what my hangups were with it, but I ended up not going down this path. But yeah, that's a good one.
Interesting.
Yeah, see, I don't believe Stepmatic has an open source license. Yeah, I think you're right there, Ben. Yeah, so that's my new thing. I've been trying to re-embrace my open sourceness. I've talked about this in the past. I kind of wavered from it a lot when we started our company because I really wanted to kind of get things done. So I was willing to pay for services, but I've kind of re-sparked my wanting to do open source first solutions, and then make somebody, kind of convince me not to do open source. We were in Discord this week, or last weekend, over the weekend in Discord. Somebody was in there. I forget who. Mike, I think it was Mike, was in there talking about wanting to replace one folder, the Microsoft, basically like the Dropbox for Microsoft. So we were having a conversation in Discord. A couple of people were contributing. And like, hey, back in the day, I looked into, I think it was called OneCloud. Now it's called Nextcloud. And it was a little janky, but, let me take another look at it. And I've been using Nextcloud for like the last week. First thing I'd forgotten, Nextcloud was a PHP project. Like, it's PHP there. The interface is all PHP. Huh. Things like that, I've got to start doing an inventory through my the DA Dev company and start looking at what we're not using open source and why we're not using it. Nextcloud led to a discussion around Open Project, which somebody in Discord uses. I'm like, this is one of these project management systems that's open source. And Nextcloud and Open Project, they have companies behind them. They have paid tiers that if I wanted to, I could pay. So that's the thing. It's like if I'm going to pay for a service, why wouldn't I pay and support an open source company? Right. But more importantly, it's like with something like Nextcloud, I love the idea of, okay, I have complete control over the files now. Like, I know everything's encrypted at rest because it's my server. I log in. I can see that the files are encrypted at rest. There's no way for me to get to those files. And that security has just been feeling really good. I deployed it out on Digitalocean. It was a snap. It was a snap install. I'm not saying that like figuratively. I wasn't saying it was a snap to install. It was snap
I get it.
install, which is a package management system. And I'm just so thrilled with it. I put it on a small box, which I easily clobbered when I tried to like upload all my Dropbox to it. it just kind of got down on its knees and said,
Started
"Please
crying
stop."
in the corner. Why do you do this?
But I don't know, man. I mean, I've forgotten how much I love that, like working with open source solutions through and through. And we're not too guilty of it. Back to your VS Code thing and me starting to use Vim again. It's just something about it. Like I feel good about it. I mean, I think JetBrains does a lot for the community.
Oh yeah,
I'm not going to.
They employ Nikita Popov, so I mean, just keep doing that.
Exactly.
Just do that.
Exactly. Yeah. But there's something to be said about these open source solutions out there, not using something, depending on something like Dropbox or the Google Docs or anything like that. And I don't know, man. I'm just enjoying it more and more. I love the open source community and how much they get done.
Well,
that's a great thing about being a CTO of your own company. You can just decide, hey, this is what we're doing. Everybody has to listen to you.
We're winding down here. I want to throw out just 2 news items. Nothing really to discuss, but Yahoo and AOL are now owned by private businesses, as Verizon is no longer in the media business. So it turns out AOL and Yahoo still exist. I didn't really know that.
That's funny.
Okay. And one article, a Google engineer called out Apple for pushing Safari and basically holding the entire web back. And boy, I couldn't agree with anything more. Like, I keep running into Safari-related issues, and I just know it's Apple's thing, but come on, like, stop it with Safari. Stop. Like, put in the Chrome core, the Chromium core or something. Just stop developing the stupid browser that's making everyone in development cry. It's always something wrong with Safari. So please, just please. I got so sad reading that article. Just like, come on. Why are they still doing this to us? Besides that, that's all I've got. Well, Ramsey got himself kicked out of the channel.
Ramsey, Safari. That's what kicks him out. The guy votes for me last as release manager, but you're okay with that. But the fact that he supports Safari, that's your bottom line.
Yeah, no.
That's where you draw the line.
That's uncalled for. I'm sure the committee will overturn it next week, but for now, no. I can't have that.
All right. We need to wrap it up anyways.
Yeah.
I think we've had enough of a love fest. We've appreciated our Discord a lot this year. I so much of my week was Nextcloud and talking about getting involved with internals, and that all just comes from the discussions I'm having on our Discord. So again, check us out. I've got to stop saying again. I keep saying it. It's driving me crazy when I edit the podcast. I've edited the podcast and I say again like every 15 minutes. Got to stop doing that. Drives me nuts. I'm trying to get better at typing, and I'm trying to get better at speaking correctly and fluently again. Yeah, you've come in too late. Hello from Twitch.
Hello, C Films.
For the record, if I do stream live code, I'm only going to do it on Twitch. I'm not going to do the whole YouTube, all that other stuff. The question is, do I do it on the PHP Ugly account, or do I create a separate account? I think I'll just do it on the PHP Ugly.
Yeah, or just if the users out there want to see it, they can search for Ugly Hot Tub Coding Session.
Ugly Hot Tub Coding Session.
Yeah.
I think if we just got our title for the show, you do PHP. Well, you're in the right place. Next week you need to come about an hour earlier.
And do I have? I have.
What did you say?
I have a story for you, but we'll have to get to that one after this.
Ugly Hot Tub Coding
Ugly
Session.
Hot Tub
That's what
Coding
you said,
Session.
right?
All right, thank you everybody for listening.
I didn't even have Discord suggest titles this week. That's unfortunate.
The bot's not running.
Good thing they didn't, because the bot's not running. That's awesome. Let's see if we can fix that real fast. That's funny, by the way. Again, another thing I try to do, I try to get our bot running on a serverless platform.
Ooh.
And I got it deployed, but it kept it wouldn't get traffic for a while, and so it would shut down. I didn't want to run it on a server, but I might throw them out on a server there. I don't know, man. I got so many things I want to do. Not even funny. It is funny because I'm terrible at all of them. I want to code, man. I'm gonna do some seed coding, and you're gonna see me patching bugs. That's my thing. I can't think of any new feature to add to PHP. I'm not there. I'm not that person. I see the discussion.
Start writing an open source CMS. We need one.
But no, I want to get in there, man. I want to touch all the bits, all the insides. Yeah, there you go.
All right,
Ramsey flaunting his money. He's flaunting his release manager money again. Look at him.
Ugh.
I see where this is going. Ramsey, go to your DMs, man. I'm trying to get your help. All right. Is that it?
That's
Are we
it.
done? We're finished.
Thank you, everybody, for
Episode
listening.
235 is in the book. Thanks to all our Patreons. I'm Eric.
I'm Tom. Keep it ugly.
Keep it ugly. Did you see? Were you waiting for another voice?
No, I was waiting for you. I don't know why.
We normally wait for you because you're the one that switches the scene.
So I've been doing some interviews.
Oh, get the music going one more time.
The outro.
1, 2, 1, 2. Coming off the top, y'all know how we do. Listen, I'ma drop a freestyle you can cherish. I'ma send a shout out to the host named Eric. Yo, he's never on some average shit. You know, Eric, he stays loud and passionate. I'm about to break it down for y'all with the clever song. Yo, shout the host named Thomas, cause he's never wrong. Yo, shout to John. You know that he's smart and quiet, unlike my freestyles, which cause a riot. I'm about to do it like this, cause the people love me. Shouts out to PHP, the ugly. It's called ugly cause it's not professional, but I'm about to come through and bless it with style. So let's do it when I'm spitting, I perfume the room. Yo, the segment of the show is called Doom and Gloom. That came from Thomas. Yeah, can nobody go beyond this? I get the mic and then I'm about to keep it like a promise. Yeah, and y'all know we fill them up with anguish. We talking about the PHP, the programming language. About to break it down, no exaggeration. What do y'all do for a living? Web applications. Okay, I can dig it. My words spray tight. They getting together on the Thursday nights. Yeah, when it comes to rhyming, you can call me the new dude. I spew true lyrics while y'all broadcast on YouTube. So let's get it. You know my lyrics are major. All up in the comments, they got plenty of haters, but they doing what they doing. Keep it ugly. We ending every show with the saying it's lovely. Let's go. Hey,
Excellent. So, I've been doing a couple interviews this week for devs.
Mm-hmm.
And
you're streaming, right?
Yeah.
You know that. Yeah.
And a couple of them didn't go great. But but they were asked by the other person in the interview, what resources do you use to keep up on PHP and the PHP community? And one of the guys said, well, I listen to podcasts, and I locked up. And I was like, oh God. And the guy says well, what podcasts? He said, round table mostly, really? That's it? I was like, oh, oh. Whew. Like,
why would that scare you?
Well, because the interview wasn't going great. And I don't want to be like, hey, you might not have known this, but behind the scenes, a total asshole. I shot you down, and it's gonna burn me.
I was like, excuse me, your name Buttery?
Is this Buttery? You're out. Oh boy.
Yeah, I've had a few people come up to me at conferences say they listen to podcasts, but
yeah, nobody that you're like hiring.
Yeah. Like I've never I've never been like at a at a talk or something, and somebody say, "Oh yeah, here's some resources, like here's some podcasts," and our name be up there. Like if
not
our
at a
name is
professional
like, published
conference.
somewhere,
Yeah,
exactly. It's like if our name is published somewhere, I probably had a hand in getting it there. You know what I mean?
well, except for the PHP Storm newsletter. That was out of nowhere.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, I guess that doesn't hold true. Like there are a few sites that catch our feet now. Take it easy, Ben.
Good night.
How did you pronounce the Twitch person? C
Films.
C Films. C Films. We are all over the map. Mainly 7 and 8 development now. PHP 7 and 8.
Yeah, I'm 7.4 right now. Didn't get to mention that, by the way, that
7.4?
there was a 7.4 release that broke Eloquent in Postgres. 7.4.18 release.
I didn't even catch that. That seemed significant enough to put into show notes.
I believe that they patched it already. I think 7.4.19 came out.
You're gonna get hired any day now, Buttery. With that, just that one line is all you need for a CV.
Yeah, so 7.4.18. Oh, 7.4. Where is it? Yeah, so it was patched the same day. No?
It's funny to see Derek. Derek still does. He's still the release manager of 7.4. Yeah, that's Derek.
Yeah,
right?
So
that's Derek doing
I
that.
guess it did. I guess it did last a week. It was because the 7.4.18 was released on the 29th of April, and 7.4.19 was released today. Yeah, and this was just a break in Postgres for Laravel.
And that's no small thing. I'm sure there's a lot of Postgres people out there.
Yeah, but we don't care about them.
We care about all our developer friends. All of them. See, I'm so excited you're embracing VS Code.
I know. I'm just finding little things I like,
You've got to promise me. You got to promise me you're going to try Vim bindings there again. Because I think I will help you. I will be there for you. I will hold your hand and walk you through it.
I'm not going to do it this week because this has been a total jump straight into the deep end. I'm very busy. And
well, that's good. Days are short, right?
No. I'm starting 2 hours earlier than I used to, and getting off at roughly the same time still. You gotta impress on your first run, you know?
Buttery, you haven't touched my SQL in years. Only use Postgres and some NoSQL. Why is that, Buttery? I would be curious to know.
Don't ask a Postgres person why they like Postgres. You know what the answer is going to be.
It's not a Postgres person. It's database people. Like database people love Postgres over MySQL.
They can go to hell. How do you describe a table? Is it describe table? No, it's /G.
And I'm the bad guy on the show. Everybody looks at me like I'm the dick. You guys are the ones that are like mean to everyone. Hey, Kevin, gotta love GitHub's latest feature to sync forks. What? Kevin, why are you hitting me with this now? What? I've been asking for this for years. Everybody's like, oh, yeah, you just pull from upstream. I'm like, no, if I fork something, I want my fork to stay in sync. I don't want this to be a manual process. Wait, but it still looks like it's a manual process. Is this not a manual process? You can't just say, hey, keep my fork updated with upstream. Well, I don't know. That's still good, I guess. You're muted.
VSCode has a little pop-up that says, hey, your feature's behind on master. You want to update it.
Dude, PHP Storm has that. Vim has that.
I know, but just this little toolbar I have at the bottom that just has the current branch, the ticket, the Bitbucket, the conversations, errors. I mean, it's just... The UX is just so nice. It's just so pretty.
I'll have to get mine. I'll have to get my VS Code updated and take a look at it. It's been a while. We have a lot of developers at Diego Dev who are VS Code people, and I stand behind it. I mean, it's like, yeah, if you're going to use other platforms, because we would pay for their PHP Storm license if they wanted it. They still choose to do VS Code.
Yeah,
I think that speaks a ton for VS Code. Oh, that hit you hard, didn't it?
Ugh. All right, I gotta run.
Kevin, you can't hit me with that news so late.
Thank you, everybody, for watching. I'm out of here. Again, if you want to see Eric, just go on Twitch and search for Harry Hot Tub Streamer.
It's not going to be this weekend. I'm booked this weekend, but maybe next weekend. I'm going to put it in my calendar to do some streaming. Don't know what yet, but I'm going to do something. And I'm serious, Ben. You need to hook me up. I need to understand C and how to best approach C development, because I'm doing some internals work this year. God damn it.
His username is One Warm Ball.
And I'm the dick. I'm the one.
Oh, dude, are you kidding me? I have something I haven't told you yet that you're going to be so be so upset about, because I have you.
All right. Well, let's say bye to everybody.
Bye, everybody.